I really wanted to move to Baxter and have a business. I contacted Baxter. Guess what kind of response I got? Nothing. Zero. Don't know what happened to my letter. Don't know what happened to my email. And I contacted City Hall. That's not what I want to happen. And that's part of my frustration here. That's not what I want to happen to new people. And I've made a commitment to try to work on the chamber website, and I've been a little bit deterred because of all the city stuff going on. But I donate my time to work on the chamber website. So we separated from the city website because we want to do that. It's linked to other people's businesses. So you can go to the Baxter Springs Chamber website and look at it. And I feel like we have something that is beginning to grow. You know, it didn't cost a lot of money. The other thing is, you talk about businesses. My husband right down here got a new business in uptown. It's the flea market, but the guy, he was walking down the street, the guy that owns it, he's from Halltown. He was looking for a building on Route 66. We figured out who owned the building. We contacted the guy who owned the building, and we worked it. My husband did real estate for 25 years, but we got that person in that building. You know, so that it is capturing people as they stop in. And there's a couple buildings right now we're trying to get people in. You know, the minute they come in. And so I feel like I do have that experience, and I feel like, you know, my location helps us. But I think that the city presence is important. And I am concerned about our vision. I think I also have a clear vision of how the chamber works in the economic development. One more thing. I do know there was an email sent to the economic development and you, Mr. Kaufman, in December concerning small business loans, and it's never been addressed. And it was asking the city to look at possibly matching funds. That's never been discussed. And that's the frustration that we have right now. Those things are proposed, they're asked, they're sent, and they die.
Well, I think all of the community has to work together. It's not dropping the egg on just the Chamber of Commerce. The economic group, I do agree that that's their expertise and they should help us, but I still think we need incentives. We need a vision. One of the things I would like to see, the people who do own the business, even if the infrastructure and all that is not up to date, clean up the front of them. Get the boards off the windows, do something to make them more attractive to even want to look at that building. I know that's not going to change the structure of it, but that just to kind of beautify, you know, the downtown, to make it more. I mean, everybody's talking about Galena. You know, well, Galena's had a lot different situation than Baxter Springs has right now. They've had a hospital come in with a bunch of group of doctors. They've had their trash deal from the tornado in Joplin. That's been a whole new ball game for them. We've got to take care of our little town of Baxter and try to get some of these buildings filled, but we do need some incentives. We do need people to come in and try to support these people when they do try. Make sure the contacts are made, make sure the emails are answered, and make sure all of that stuff is all lined up.
Since I'm the last one to speak, I really don't have much to say on it. I was going to suggest beautify downtown, get a lot of the boards down out of the windows of the buildings. Something else is, before you get to 400, is put a sign there to say that there's historic Baxter Springs. You know, come on through and you're welcome to see the town, to see what we have that is historical. We've got a wonderful museum here. So if we could somehow advertise to bypass 400, that is a bypass, to keep coming straight on, and on 66 or in 69, you could see the town and see what we have to offer. So, you know, and again, beautification of the city, and that's just, it's all a teamwork effort, and with all the committees, with the city council and the chamber. So if we could get that done, also, that a lot of people don't have any place to dump their trash. So, and I don't think the dump is open enough to where people have the opportunity to dump their trash when they're not working. So that's probably something that needs to be brought up. So that's all I have to add to it. Thank you.
All right, any further questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've lived in Baxter Springs for 9 years now, and I have seen 1, 2, 3 of these people. Okay, and it's not that I stay at home all the time. I've seen 3 of them. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening, and what I'm hearing is, if the chamber did better, if they did better, if somebody else did something else, and then you think about the time that it takes for anything to happen. 3 years it took to get some trash moved off of the lot. 3 years it took to get that moved off of a big lot that several people had to look at all the time. Time passes, and you guys talk about, well, we would give them permission to do this, we would give them permission to do that. A year passes, 2 years, 3 years, and Baxter Springs just continues to go downhill.
And what's your
My
question?
question is, how are they going to eliminate the 3 and 4 year time factor that it takes to get anything done?
And who are you directing that to?
All of them.
Okay, well, we'll just start down at this end then.
Well, I'm stumped on this one because I don't have an answer why it took 3 years. It shouldn't have taken 3 years. It shouldn't have taken 3 months. It should have been done, and I think there's a lot of that all over town. So, and again, you know, I think we have to do something as far as the city dump is concerned, and giving them more availability to it as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, I don't understand either.
I know there's a lot of legalities on some of the things that have to be torn down and hauled off and different things, EPA and different things as far as like when they tore down the big building and then the legality of who the owners are and different things like that. But if it's just trash on a lot, I don't understand why it had to take 3 years. I don't know the particular situation that you're speaking of, but I know right now, I have a neighbor, and there's 3 cars out there with tags on them. They're all expired, the couch and the chair and everything's out there in a wood pile. And I'm not complaining because, you know, I don't want the guy to get in trouble, but I think we have a person that does that. I'm not blaming it all on him, but I don't, everybody's asked, well, turn to me, and I was like, let him figure it out. You know, it's in the back of the yard, but it's visibly seen. One of my ladies that's not really using her mind real right now wanted to know where all that traffic was coming from. I said, it's just 3 parked cars. They've been out there. You're just facing the wrong way. The street's this way. You know, but I'm not sure why it takes something that visible, and if it's not a big issue of a problem with legalities, why it took 3 years to get it cleaned.
And that's just an example of why nothing is happening in Baxter. It's that the whole, well, it's somebody else's job or somebody else can do it.
Passing the buck.
Well, I've spent the years in education, and I'm big on creating lists, and checking them off. And I think that's something we fail to do, is to create a list. And, if I have a complaint, that's something that I would have written down, and I would do the follow-up. But I also think that, and I know the trash issue is big, but I think we have to start looking at why that's there, whether it's financial, whether it's an inability to get rid of it, a lack of resources. I've been working closely with the health department and even the person that's involved in environmental things. And, I feel like I've been in conversation with them, and that's something that we have to create, a conversation with those people at the state and the county level, and so that we can solve this problem. And I know there's an opportunity to do that, and that's what I would do, create lists and follow up.
Okay, once again, I'm not really familiar with the codes in the city. I know that we have them. I don't know that most of us have a clue what they are. I know that if you go to Joplin, you don't leave your couch out in the yard. If you do, you're in trouble. There's a lot of little towns that have a lot of rules, and I'm sure we have them, but we don't really do anything with them. And I think that's a lot of it, is first of all, we all need to know what the rules are, and then we all need to be made to play by the same rules. I mean, the rules are there, but we don't enforce them. Now, another thing is, we have a lot of youth groups, we have a lot of people. We used to have Hearts and Hammers, we used to have a lot of groups. We have seniors that need help. We have a lot of people that don't own a pickup that could use a little help. We could have a cleanup day once every 4 months or something, and people can get on the list, and the youth groups come, and somebody organizes it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that, if we get them all together, we could do that. And, it really, what you're looking at is a sense of community. That's what we have lost. People helping each other, because we can't all afford to, figure out what to do with that couch or those tires or that washer. Most of the time you set it out on the curb and it's gone by morning, but that's beside the point, That's for the stuff they won't take.
And there again, if it's just trash on the lot, I don't know why it would have taken that long to get it cleaned up. These houses we're tearing down here, there's a lot of legal stuff, and it takes a lot of time to get one of them down. And several times we've almost got to it and something's came up and we had to start over. But this subject came up the other night in a meeting I was in, some of them, and we thought it might be a good idea to ever so often, Jeremy back there, maybe pick a code out and put that code in our water bill and send it to everybody. It wouldn't take anything extra. We might send that for, say, maybe 3 months in a row, then put another, like the registration of the cars and different things expired in the yard. Inoperative cars sitting around, the city ordinance says you will do this, like couch, and don't put your couch in the front yard, but we might mail an ordinance or a regulation or something out to everybody for 3 months in a row, something that, and Jeremy, he could see what needs to be addressed more than anything. He could say, this is a subject we need to educate the people on here. Let's take an ordinance, condense it down where they can understand it. It's not 35 pages long, and say, hey, let's just put this in everybody's water bill. We'll do that for 3 months in a row. Then the next 3 months, we'll pick a different ordinance. I mean, it don't cost nothing but a piece of paper, and it won't affect the postage any. And everybody gets a water bill. Like I said the other night, everybody don't read them probably, but they all get a water bill, and that might be the first step to educating them on some of this. But like Sherry said, maybe people, well, they know they don't do that, but they're gonna push the envelope, and this way they can't say, well, we didn't know that, it was in your water bill. They've got knowledge of that. Okay.
It would probably help if you would give us the address of the property, and maybe we could best know that.
They have the address.
Okay. Without knowing it,
They knew.
the city of Baxter, every year, the city council, we allocate a certain amount of money per year that we're going to budget to take care of the structures, the dilapidated structures. That money's your taxes, so it depends on how much you want to pay. We normally allocate between $18,000 to $20,000 a year. And one meal in the city of Baxter Springs brings in approximately $22,000. So for us to be able to tear down so many structures per year, we have to allocate almost one meal. What we try to do is try to make that money go as far as we can. If there is 6 or 7 properties that need to be tore down, that's all we can do for 1 year. We have to wait till the next cycle. The big building that we just got through tearing down over here was, I think, approximately $18,000. So as you can tell, that's our budget for the year. We can't do anything else. So we try to get voluntary compliance on these properties. Jeremy is one of the best code enforcement officers that this city has ever had. He knows these people by heart. If we can get you voluntarily to get rid of that couch, get rid of your car, that's going to save you taxes, it's going to save us taxes. When it runs out, where push comes to shove, where we finally got to tear it down, we just got to wait till we get the money. So, Lori, I've got to correct you on one thing. I'm not picking on you, but we don't have a trash dump. We have a burn site. You can't take your trash out there. That burn site is permitted by the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. That's for limbs, garden debris, things like that only. Your trash only goes to one place, that's the landfill. You put it out by the curb and take it. Or you can put it in your vehicle and take it to Galena, or you can take it to